Celebration there from Liverpool, despite the fact that they are a point behind Manchester City still. But it does go down to the far day. To get this title race down to the final day, not the far day, you know what I mean? To get from January the 15th, where there was a 14-point gap, Liverpool, yes, had 2 games in hand at that stage. To get from there to now going down in the middle of May to the final day of the season, what a title run-in this has been already.
And for a large portion of the season as well, towards the end there, that people are talking about the quadruple. That just adds pressure into your team, into your squad. You know, we saw it with the FA Cup final how much that took out of them, but they got that done. Then that game against Southampton, it is a fantastic effort. It is a fantastic effort, and if more in respect of what they've got to do to chase down a team like Manchester City, you know, they can't do any more Liverpool, and they're still fighting on all fronts. It's an unbelievable testament to their squad. Yeah. Unbelievable testament to their squad and the attitude of the squad, the mentality of the squad. Everybody is just fighting the same direction, and this is why what you want is a team to make Man City, even though you have to, of course you fancy Man City to win, but you make them have to win, you know? It's like, ask the question. Don't let them just don't go to Southampton, and because you've gone into such a tough game with Chelsea in the cup final, you know, people say, yeah, but people will excuse you from that because it was really tough. No. Ask the question of City, and that is what they've done, and it's been a magnificent effort.
But interesting that they did it with 9 changes to their starting lineup. There were players in there who hadn't made Premier League starts in a long time. Minamino's been a cup player for Liverpool, a successful cup player, but a cup player for Liverpool. There was Harvey Elliott in there, who hasn't played since the league game. You start with Curtis Jones, who isn't a regular starter. No Virgil van Dijk, no Mo Salah, and yet to still get the result. What do you think that does to the team, to the squad, to the atmosphere going into training the next day?
I think the fact that they've played in pretty much every game there is available this season, or going to be, I think that only gives the players a lift, especially the ones on the bench. I think Klopp has used his team in the depth very, very well, and also we can see that Liverpool now have more depth, especially with the added Harvey Elliott back, and obviously we know about Curtis, and I think Thiago has found his form, what everybody knows he's capable of. So now he's in a position, especially with the front three, where he can leave Salah and Mane out. Last season he couldn't do that before, but now he can, and still come away from games and take 3 points. And yesterday, the game just gone, he's now able to let Virgil rest and people like that rest. So you can see the way that he's building it is perfect, because he may add 1 player a season, and if they're struggling, maybe 1 in January, whereas other teams had 3 or 4 players. So they're building it very, very well.
It's testament, I think, to how he's kept a team challenging on all fronts, keeping 20-odd players happy, to the point where you can change 9 players the second to last game of the season, and they come in and they are fighting because they know exactly what's at stake. You can easily, 9 players, you can easily find players who are like, I've been involved, they're sulking at this and that, who are not quite at it. But the way he's kept that whole squad like pulling in the same direction, honestly, it's testament to his managing skills. His man management skills have to be mentioned there. 3
defeats in 61 games this season. One of them was in a Champions League tie that was already sorted from the first leg, and 2 of them have been in the league as we get into this stage. And for the first time ever, Darren, the title race, the final Champions League position, and the relegation battle are all going to be finalised on the final day. Where'd you send your reporters?
Yeah, to be fair, all leave has been cancelled for this weekend, but everything's going to be focused at the top. I've got to say a couple of things. One is that I think whoever picked out that picture for this discussion needs a pay rise. Klopp there. I love that expression on his face. The second thing is that I actually did think about Chelsea actually, because I remember you had Petr Cech in goal and Carlo Cudicini, who was exceptional anyway, and he had to kind of step back so that Cech could be number 1. You had Joe Cole in your squad, you had Carvalho and Gallas and Terry, and who was the other centre half you had?
Gallas was there. You had
Carvalho, Terry,
and they basically, and Robert Huth was in and around there.
Wayne Bridge and Ashley Cole. Yeah, I mean, anyway, you had so much depth in that squad, and Liverpool have that depth. And what's quite interesting about the Liverpool team and the squad is that I think when they felt we could reel in City, but let's focus on the cup competition so that we can actually win things, win some silverware, those players came in, like your Minaminos, like your Curtis Jones or whatever else, and they did so well to get all the way to the end. Where the man management came in was that he said, look, we got to the final, finals are for winning. the big boys are going to play. And those players, they've got the belief in his ability, his man management to say, we'll step back.
Yeah.
But then they come back, the 9 changes for the Southampton game, and they win it. And that's why they've got such a happy ship. So where do we send everyone? Well, we send people definitely to Liverpool, because I think the fact that they've made City have to be asked a question means that you just can't legislate for what might happen on the final day. But also at the bottom, there'll be so much drama regardless who goes down. And of course, in North London, that's a massive story, because whoever does finish in the top 4 could be transformative for the next few years for them.
I mean, equally, we'll talk more about the top 4 race. Equally, Everton might not be safe by then as well. So you've got a double story there as well, potentially.
Yeah, I know. And